Ni hao, or hello, from Shanghai, China. Today I'm recording a railfanning trip I did from Shanghai Railway Station, which is one of 4 stations in Shanghai. This station, Shanghai South, Shanghai Hangzhou, and Shanghai West, or Shanghai Z. Shanghai Railway Station has 13 platforms and 15 tracks. It was opened in 1987. It was renovated in 2010, and it is in the Jiangnan neighborhood. It was built on the site of the Shanghai East Freight Station. Here we see this is a HXD3C from Bombardier. It is built in 1910, 82 miles per hour top speed. It pulls traditional coaches, traditional speed coaches. And here's the station from the end. I found a bridge that goes over the throat of the station to the east side of it. So this is the major shed, and the station here has both traditional style electric locomotive hauled traditional coaches, traditional speed coaches, as well as the high-speed line. Most of the lines leaving from the station are going to Beijing. And there's another one of those Bombardier engines. In the background you can see some of the HSTs. And I'm recording from a bridge overpass to the west. Get a pretty good view of the roof of that Bombardier. China has done a lot of recent renovations and improving of the speeds of their trains. Here's one of the high-speed trains coming through. This one is a CR300AF Fuxin Hao rejuvenation train, an EMU. I recorded this in about an hour, from about 11 o'clock on a Sunday, 11 to 12. I was just hanging out on the bridge overpass, and there was a nice fence with holes big enough to fit my lens through. The station is right next to the 3 and the 4 subway line, so here's I think that's a 3 subway train going through there. Excuse me, no, that's a suburban train. Here's a sign warning pedestrians about electricity. Here's the bridge. The bridge was built around 2010. There's a 4-line subway train going through. Towards the end of this video, I'll have some video shot from the subway line. there's a better view of the 4. The 4 is a circle line that leads around the center of Beijing, Shanghai. There's the train shed. I figured out how I could get a pretty good view of some of the engine facilities for the traditional style engines that viewed from the 4 subway line track. So I'll include that at the end of the video if you want to stick around. Here's one of the CR400 AF. Excuse me, that's not, that's a, that is a HXD1D from 2012, the red single unit double-ended electric train. There's another single unit headed to couple up to its train. And there's a CR300AF. That one is in the configuration to carry 685 passengers. There's a doubled up version that's 2 trains coupled nose to nose, and that can hold 1,443 people. They can go 420 kilometers an hour or 261 miles an hour. There's that suburban train again. There's a diesel. This one is a DF5G, produced 1975 to 2006. There were 1,136 made. They're the most common road switcher in China. These red ones really look so similar to the Siemens, but they're not. They're a Chinese engine. And at this station, I was able to catch a lot of that's the HXD1D. At this station, I was able to catch a lot of both traditional locomotive hauled trains as well as EMUs, the high-speed EMU electric trains, which China is becoming very well known for. In the last 20 years, they've really expanded a lot of their high-speed trains, and I can tell from the trip that I took to the west. I took a 3-hour trip to the west on a high-speed train, which I'll include a video of later. That it's clear that they are not stopping. They're continuing to build more and more train lines, and soon they will be connected nearly everywhere. Here's a locomotive hauled train with the traditional coaches. You can see the air conditioning units on the top. Up until about 15 years ago, these were the highest speed trains in the country, and they've been nearly replaced on every line by the high-speed EMUs. There are still some lines that are relying on them, but within, I would say, 10 years, they'll be completely replaced by the high-speed trains. So I thought it was interesting to record this transitional era where they're switching from traditional hauled coaches, trains to these high-speed EMUs. Here comes one. This one is a Golden Phoenix, a CR 400AF. Excuse me, the BF. Some of them based on their window configuration, I can't really tell from this because I'm not as familiar with them, but some are actually equipped to deal with desert running as well as cold temperature running. And this configuration is 2 trains connected together, so it's a 16-car train, 2 8-car units connected. And that's on its way to Beijing. Those can go 350 kilometers an hour or 217 miles per hour. There's a 300 AF. Those were much more common. I saw those nearly everywhere. A lot more of them than the 400s. But they have all different configurations and abbreviations depending on how they're configured and what their intended use is. But as you can see, the train sheds are huge, huge vertical space. This station, because it's Shanghai, a lot of through north-south trains will pass through the station. It was built on the site of the fast freight station, and a lot of trains just pass through. There's different ratings of trains. The T trains are fast special trains, and they'll only stop at the main stations. K trains are fast through trains that travel north and south. And almost every train stops at Shanghai that's passing through. The original Shanghai station that was on the line that connected Shanghai to Beijing still exists. The building still exists, and it's now in use as the Shanghai Railway Museum. And I will have an upcoming video based on that in the next few weeks. This one, I believe, is a CR 400 AF, referred to as a Blue Dolphin. And these were first made in 2016. Here we are on the 4 line, first traveling east, and I just included this video so you can see the other trains as well as the bridge that we were shooting from. There it is, just a little bit east from the station shed, and that really is the best and only place to see any of the passenger trains because there's walls up everywhere else. And here we've gone to the west side, and this is from the Boshan station, and in the background, that orange roofed building is the original Shanghai station, and this is a coach yard for all of the traditional style coaches. And you can see the roof equipment and paint schemes. Here's a 4-line train coming in and from both sides, an east and a westbound. And we're going to get on the westbound to go back to the railway station and I will show some video I got on the way there of some of the rail equipment that you can see from the 4 subway line between Boshan Station and Shanghai Railway Station. So there's Boshan Road. Here's the coach yard. You can see a Ferris wheel in the background that's kind of mounted on top of a building. Shanghai is really under active rebuild, and a lot of older buildings are being torn down and replaced with extremely modern buildings. So there's the throat of the coach yard, and soon we'll get to some traditional engine service facilities and even catch a diesel, which seem kind of rare in this area. So there's a diesel. That one is, again, one of the DF5Gs. And there's some engine service buildings, some engines in the background, and here's a big engine shed with a lot of engines around it. The red engine with the fairing up on top is, let's see, what were those called? The SS9G, they have the red fairing that goes up on top. They were a rebuild of the SS9s, but the SS9Gs have that fairing. The structure is all old workers housing, railroad worker housing, and it seems to be being actively demolished, so it won't be there for much longer. But I just thought it was interesting that it's incorporated so close to the railroad line. There you can see the top of the railroad station shed, and here we are pulling into the subway station. And here is the inside of the subway station. As you see, they all have partitions that keep people off the track, and then when the subway train lines up, it lines up every time exactly to the gate and opens. And we're just going to take another trip back along the same line just to see if we can get another view of some of those engines and engine facilities and service facilities along the way. So there's the worker housing again, and there's a couple towers mixed in as well. So those, I imagine, will stay, but the worker housing is not long for this world. A lot of the windows are missing. There's an engine under the bridge there. And there's an open-sided engine facility, car shed. From this line, you can really get a good view of the engines. There's the SS9Gs, and the blue one, I don't recognize what call sign those would fall under. There's another one of those electrics, and it looks like they finally get the diesel started. You can see that big plume of smoke, like an honorary Alco. But those diesels are the most common road switcher in China, the DF5Gs, the Dengfeng 5s. And here we are looking again at all of those coaches. Those big boxes on the ends are the air conditioning units. I don't know what all of the other roof plumbing and hardware is. Some looks like vents, others I really have no idea. But it's quite a lot of them. And there you get a good view of the old Shanghai station. That used to be the terminal. Here's a little quick video of the subway line. You can see when we stop, the engineer gets out, looks at the back of the train, watches the doors open, and makes sure everyone is safe. And there's a Railfan, a baby Railfan watching, as we'll see when we open the door. Thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and if you like, you can like and subscribe, which would be wonderful. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.